Hi, thank you for joining me today at Smile by Holly. It's wonderful to have you here. Today we are going to be making this really fun Christmassy shadow box. So I purchased this adorable file on Etsy. It's by Lightbox Goodman. And a lot of his files right now are actually 50% off his Christmas files. So if you're interested, take a look, especially while they're on sale. You can get it on his website at lightboxgoodman.com or like I said, I got these on Etsy. The other thing you'll need is you'll want to get some foam adhesive board. Now you can just use regular pop-up dots or foam strips, but I have found that by having the adhesive foam board really helps. You'll also want to pick yourself up an 8x10 frame. Now I have made 6 of these this past Christmas. So I searched around and the best deal I could find on shadow box frames was actually at Michael's. So if you're watching the ads, you can find these frames a lot of times at 50% off. And this particular frame ran about $12, which is a pretty good price for a good sturdy shadow box frame. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, obviously, with this particular file, you will want to do it with a cutting machine. I have a Silhouette Cameo. Absolutely love it. Now, I guess if you were really good with an X-Acto knife and had a lot of patience, you could probably do this, but it would be difficult. So I think that this actual file is used or intended if you have a cutting machine. So what I started out with is I took my foam board and I cut strips that were about 1/4 of an inch wide. Now you don't want to get it too wide or it will hang over into your picture. So to save time, I went ahead and I actually cut out all the strips. So because it's an 8x10, I went ahead and cut a whole bunch of strips that were just slightly smaller than 10 inches long and just slightly smaller than about 6 inches. So I think that's going to help us assemble the project a little bit faster. So anyway, let's get started. We've got all of our files here. Now one thing, keep your files in order. If you get them mixed up, you're going to be in a heck of a predicament. So I'm just going to set those aside, take my first one and flip it over. Now I've cut this out of a beautiful shimmery off-white material, which I think just kind of adds to the elegance of this beautiful Christmas scene. So we're going to flip that over and I'm going to take my foam strips that, like I said, I've already cut out. And they do have this peel-off side, so we're only needing to glue one part of this because the other part has adhesive on it. So we're just going to line it up here on the edge. Now you want to make sure that it doesn't hang over the outer edge or this is going to be too wide to fit in your frame. So just be real careful when you're putting it on. Another thing is this does not have to be exact. If you've cut some of your foam boards and it doesn't fit exactly, just cut it down. So we're going to go ahead and put that one. Now see, that one's hanging off just a bit. So I'm going to take my scissors and cut that down. Like I said, it does not have to be exact, but you don't want it to be longer. Go ahead and take another foam board. You know, this actually was a really fun project to do. It did take a while, but you know, that was kind of all part of the fun to see what it was going to turn out like. Pull that off and just slip it on. So if you can see, I have a little bit of a gap there. That's okay. It works out just perfectly fine. Okay, so we've got all of our strips on. And now we are just going to add glue on top. You know, any kind of glue. I love Tombow glue. I'm using this Aleene's tacky glue. I also love glitter glue. Just anything that will do a good hold will work great for you. What kind of glue do you guys like? What's your favorite? Okay, so we've got the first layer. Now we are going to take our second layer and just flip it over and lay it right on top. Now what I have found is to kind of stand it up, you know, so you can keep it all even. You want to make sure that all the layers are staying right in line so it will fit into your frame at the end. So, got that on good. All the layers look good. And so there are our first two layers. Okay, once again, we're gonna go ahead and take our foam board. Okay, and we're just gonna lay that right on the edge, as close to the edge as you can get. And just right up on the edge. Whoops. This one's a little long, so I'm just gonna chop it off. It's easier to chop it off before you lay it down. Okay, got it right there on the edge. We'll take a longer one. Lay it right there on the edge. That looks good. And then one more small one. And that's going to be a tiny bit long, so we'll just chop it off there. And lay it on. Okay, so I'm not going to show all of this. What I'll do is we'll go through this one last layer and then I'll just fast forward it, so you don't have to take the time watching this entire thing, but you'll kind of get the feel of how you assemble this. And then when we get to the last one, I will show you how to add the lights. Now there's a couple different ways to add the lights. A lot of these shadow boxes, they use a really cool LED light. It runs about $10 or $11 off Amazon. But I have just purchased some dollar store batteries and it seems to work just fine. So we're on to our third layer. Okay, there's our third layer. So we're gonna flip it over, line it up. And then once again, I like to kind of sit it up like this to make sure it's all lining up nice and even. Okay, so if you take a look, we've got 3 layers going. Isn't it adorable? This really is a fun project. So flip it over, and I think what I'll do is I'll just finish making this, but we'll fast forward it and then I'll show you how we actually finish it. Okay, so there we have it, all 7 layers. So if you were counting, you would actually need 28 of these foam strips to make this work. So look how adorable. We've got it all assembled. Now what we're going to do is take our frame . And one thing I found that because this was 7 layers thick, that by using this backing on the frame, it was just a little bit too thick. So I actually needed to take, and it's just glued on, I needed to take this foam board off because it made the project too thick. So then I'm just going to take an extra piece of white and we will cover our board. Looks like I didn't get all of that right there. There we go. And this is going to be the base where we're going to glue our lights. Okay, get that covered good. Okay, so what you'll want to do then, and I have found, is you want to make a little kind of exit for your lights. And so I have just taken some scissors, and this board is kind of, I think I need a better pair of scissors. Let me find one. Here's one. Just kind of cut a little mini square so that the light cord can come out. Okay, so let's get our lights on. And once again, they do have some really cool lights on Amazon. They're called LED, it's a flat strip of LED lights, but really, I think this works just as well for $1, and I'm all about finding a good bargain. So we're just going to take our lights and glue them on. Oops, that didn't work. I need a little bit more hot glue. There's 10 lights, so if you just make 10 little strips, that's probably the easiest. Oops, I almost had my fingers glued on. Add a little bit more to that one. Okay, so from here, we will just go ahead and take our frame and take our insides and set it down in there and see how that just worked perfectly. And we'll go ahead and put our backing on. Now see, that's the little hole that I made so the cord would come out. And that just fits in just perfect. And let's see what it looks like. Oh, so that is adorable. Just a hint of the light. So let me know if you try this, how the project works out for you. Like I said, I'll leave the link down below where you can get this particular file. If you got some value out of this video, give me a big thumbs up. I would also love to have you subscribe to my channel, Smile by Holly. Thanks for joining me today. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!